What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. As you can see, we have the car completely tore apart, which is actually a good sign. It doesn't look good, but that means that we're getting into basically prepping out the door jambs on the car, and then like inside the doors, inside the hood, inside the trunk, off the car. And a lot of people will say like that's not the right way to do it, and I agree, right? You would want to paint like just like the shell of the car all together. That way you don't have like a tape edge or whatever like in here, just like I have for the primer right now. But I don't really have the room to paint everything like separate and stuff. Plus, it's just such a pain to put it back together when it's all painted. It's just more chances of chipping and all that stuff. Plus, I'm also not taking this roof apart because I'm not dealing with lining it back up and all that stuff. I don't wanna mess anything up. So I'm just gonna leave that on and just kind of like open it up so I can get in all the jams and stuff. And then at the same time, I might as well just do all the door jams and the trunk jam and like under the hood jam type deal. I'm not like a professional painter or anything, I never claimed to be, and I'm not super confident that I can make everything match, because you paint things separately, even if the like air pressure varies and stuff like that, it'll be a different color. So you gotta keep everything super consistent. So what I'm doing is just painting inside the door jams and on the doors and stuff, then putting the doors back on and all the trunk lid, hood back on, and then I'll paint the whole car all as one. There'll be a little bit of an edge like down in here, kind of just like the primer is, but you won't really notice it, and it's not gonna bother me. Some people it would, but for this car, it's gonna be fine. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I got a couple more stands, finally. So I'm gonna put some doors on the stand, start taking like all the seals and rubbers and all that stuff out of it, and then start sanding. And basically on the car, just have to take off the side skirt, and then these like step plate moldings, and then the latch and that stuff. I'm really hoping that in this video, we're gonna actually see the color, which would be really cool. But I'm not entirely sure how well this is gonna go, because there's quite a bit of prep work that still needs to be done, and like taping and stuff. And I still have to prime a couple spots here. So anyways, I'm gonna get those stands out of the boxes, set them all up, and then get some parts on them and basically just get to it. So yeah, my plan is to basically put the doors on these, and then I'm gonna put the trunk on the two horses, like over here. Now, hopefully I can lift this stuff by myself, but we'll see in a minute, I guess. I'm not really a huge fan of this setup, but I did put like a really fluffy blanket under that side. But this side just sits like on all the structure, but that side was like bowing and like pushing it in because it's curled. It's like curved up at the end. And yeah, it was just like pushing in the center of the trunk, but now it's not, so it should be okay. But now you can kind of see like how much it moves around. And then here's the spot. It's hitting on the corner of the roof, and then all here it's hitting in the center of the roof. And you can see like how separated this is here. It's gonna be pretty difficult to push that back in. So I think even after I do all of this, I'm gonna put like some felt or something along here, like stick on felt, and then maybe adjust these like adjusters way up, just so it's not even close. It's gonna make a big gap here, but I'd rather look at a big gap there than paint all chipped off along this front edge, which is what's happening. Now basically all I'm gonna do is go and take all these like little rubbers and latch, take everything out of here, and then we'll start addressing some of this stuff. There's a little bit of rust like underneath the seam sealer that I found before, so I picked it all back, but now I'll actually go and grind it and take care of it all just like up here. It was just way too hard to do on the car, and now we're right here, so we can do it no problem. Now, which this is kind of a huge pain. So where the factory had all the like glue to keep the outer skin to the inner structure, all the glue has become like dried out and basically like just turns to dust when you touch it. So what I'm doing basically is going, see if I can find what I haven't done yet. So basically what I'm doing is like going in here with this little pick and just cleaning out each and every one of these. Because there's also a little bit of surface rust under there because it's just bare metal under these glued areas. You can see here, this is bare metal. It's really hard to see. That's bare metal, and then there's a little bit of rust around the outside, but like just barely surface. So all I'm gonna do is clean out all this crappy glue, and then when I sand it, I'll just scuff the rust off, and then I'll re-seam seal it. And that way there's no more rust in there and it's not gonna eventually eat through to the other side of the skin, which would be terrible. Just gonna do this, get this cleaned up, then I'll blow it all out, clean up those, like I said, rust spots around where the seam sealer is, and then I can start sanding it. Pretty much got all of the rust areas ground down. I took this whole like inner outer lip or whatever here down because this edge just like the rubber sits on it and must have like over time from vibrating it just kind of wore the paint off, so it was all like a little bit of surface rust. So I took that all off, and then basically where all the little rubbers were rubbing and sitting were rusting, just surface rust. So I cleaned all that up. So now it's pretty much good to go. I kind of like feathered out, sanded where the roof hits the trunk. But other than that, like the sandpaper really doesn't do that great in here because it's just like one coat of like not good paint. So what I'm gonna do is get some scratch pads, like some Scotch-Brite pads. It'll be fine. Like this doesn't have to be sanded like perfectly smooth, just like the outside of the car. Just gotta rough it up pretty much so the paint will stick to it. So it is the next day now. This is all done. This took like 6 hours to do, which is insane, but you can see it's like pretty good. There's still like shiny spots here and there, but like I said, all we're doing is just kind of roughing it up, just scratching the surface so that way the paint will stick to it. And then I basically went with just a spray bomb primer and hit all the bare metal spots. So basically all I'm gonna do is just scratch pad that now, which will take like 2 seconds. And this will be done. I'm gonna wait to do the seam sealing and stuff because there's usually like a 12 or like 24-hour window where you can put that stuff on and then paint over it and it'll be fine. But if you wait too long, it'll like peel off and you can't really sand a seam sealer. It's like rubbery. So you gotta do that like right before paint. So this will be 100% ready other than the seam sealer. And I'll just do that all at the same time when I go to paint it. And come over here to my doors. I've got them all stripped down. Took the rubbers out. Like all the seals. So now all I'm gonna do is just wipe out all the crap in here and then basically just do what I just did in the trunk, but this will go much quicker. It's a lot smaller, and just scratch pad it and yeah, they'll be done. Do that and that, then move on to the hood, and that's gonna suck. It's gonna be basically the same thing as the trunk inside, and that's gonna take forever. So I'm gonna get this done now. So I didn't really film it much, but both doors inside are all sanded and stripped out and all that. So those are 100% ready. So now I'm moving on to the hood, which sucks because it's the same thing as the trunk. It's got all these hard to get to areas and all this stuff. There's a couple spots of rust just like creeping under the seam sealer. So I just stripped that out, cleaned that up. And then right here, this hood was damaged before, and it crinkled it here, and there's a little bit of rust starting there, so I just took care of that. But other than that, it's actually really clean. So now basically what I'm gonna do is just clean all this crud off and then start scuffing this. It's gonna take a while, but Gotta do it, and then we will move on to the car. But yeah, this thing is completely done now. I scratch padded all the little primer spots, so this thing is 100% done other than the seam seal. I think I said that already, but anyway, gonna get going on this hood. Hopefully get it done today. I don't think I will though. It's like 6 o'clock already. Man, I hate this stuff, it takes so long. I'll keep going. So I finally got this thing cleaned up inside, and I've been sanding it for probably like 2 hours now. It's Thursday, so I'm gonna just call it quits. Make a little quick video. There's no sense really rushing this. I wanna make it nice. So anyways, so this hood is probably like another hour or two away from being done. Doors are done, trunk is done. So what I'm gonna do is just leave the car alone. Because I don't have enough room anyways. I was thinking about it. I'm gonna put this plastic up here again, like I always have, and then I'll park the car back here, park the Corvette in here. There'll be no room for all the parts laying out on stands and the car. So everything is done, except for that hood, but I'm almost done. So park this back here, and then what I'm gonna do is get all the seam seal done that I have to do, and then we will paint just the parts, just inside the parts. For now, but that's not gonna happen in this video because it takes too long, and yeah, but good news is I do have the paint in the clear, which I just got. It's just Nason base. A lot of people say it's junk, but I've never had an issue with it, and as far as I'm concerned, as long as the surface is like prepped properly, and then as long as you put like a decent clear over top of it, that's the most important part. The base is just like the color, and yeah, as long as you put a nice clear on top of it, and pretty much all that matters. I got this stuff, it's AG40 auto glass. I like this stuff. It's from Matrix. It's pretty cheap. It was like 450 bucks for that. And I think the base, I got like a gallon, but it's 1-to-1, so it's like 2 gallons actually, because there's a lot of parts. I'm doing inside everything. Then all the body kit, the speedster top, the lower thing on the back bumper, the front bumper, blah, blah. A lot of parts, a lot of stuff to paint. And then it's never a bad idea to have extra paint, right? Because chances are, obviously, something is gonna hit the ground, and I'm probably gonna have to repaint stuff at some point in time. So it's never a bad idea to get more than you need at the same time, because even if you get the same paint code and they mix it in like 6 months, it could be different, just how their toners are set up on the thing. It might be like settled or whatever. So I always just get more than I need right off the bat. That's gonna do it for this video. In the next video, like I said, we're gonna spray all that stuff for sure, 100%. I keep saying that, but I'm really bad at time management. And I think I'm gonna get so much done, and then it takes forever and I don't get it done. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's pretty short and whatever, kind of boring, but this stuff takes so long to do. And you have to do like a decent job if you want a decent end result. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, and it'll be worth it. One more week, we'll see some paint, and then we can get on to that, do those jams, then block the car, sand the car, and then put all the doors and everything back on it, paint the car. So I'm really hoping, what is it right now? It's June. So hopefully in like 3 weeks to a month, so beginning of July, this car will be painted. Not done, but like painted. And then that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be really awesome to see. So anyways, I'm just talking about stuff. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, not a big deal. Let me know why didn't you like it. But yeah, if you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, that's cool. Much appreciated for watching as always. Yeah, I guess we'll see you in the next one.